Houses. We're going to be going over Joel Tinney. 2017 stats, 19 goals, 35% shooting percentage, which is always good. Assists at 9. I think he had a little bit of a better rookie year, and he had that year in between that he had to miss. So maybe he had to knock off a little of the rest at the beginning of the year. But this guy, I really like watching him play. Super fast, super agile, super athletic, and very, very creative. He's obviously known for the hidden ball trick shots that he's done a lot, but we're not going to be showing any of that. We're going to be really honing in on how he creates separation and how he's able to bring that stick back to a strong hand. You'll see every shot he ever takes is left-handed. I don't know if I've ever seen him really take a right-handed shot because really, if you're good at creating separation, you do not need to put the stick in your weak hand in order to get a shot off, all right? So this first clip is actually him using what I talked about with shooting a lot as a pass. Comes in, bang. Well, I'm not saying that this is totally necessary, but what I am saying is I really like how even sometimes when you're in tight, a lot of people say don't bring your stick back to your strong hand. If in this case he's a lefty, if you're a lefty in this case, because they're going to trail check you. Well, oftentimes, that's not the case. And he's able to get a good pass off, right? But if you view this like a shot, imagine he was shooting in this situation. When that stick comes up, that stick would be perfectly vertical here, all right? And that vertical nature of the stick makes it easier for him to get a good pass off to his teammate because let's say he pulls that pass. So let's say he's got a little bit of whip in the stick or whatever the case is. If he misses on the point with that pass because it's an overhand pass, at least that ball will be in line with the player. Meaning, if it doesn't hit him in the stick, it might hit him around the hip. But if it's a sidearm pass, right, which it likely would be if the stick was in his right hand, and if he hooked it, it would be way to the left or way to the right, and maybe a little more difficult pass to catch. So, setting up passes like that in order to catch effectively is really, really important, and I like how he keeps the stick vertical even when he's doing that. Now, this is a clip I wish I had a better angle on because it's such a great move. It really speaks to the principle of angles when shooting. Comes in, splits a guy. I mean, he's pretty far out here if you think about it. It's not an outside shot. I'm not saying it's an outside shot, but this is kind of like where a lot of guys are when they're shooting on the run, and a lot of people get worried about not generating enough power. But I think if you looked at the numbers and when you watch most box players play and they bring that stick back to their inside, especially when they're shooting on the run, it's not all about the speed. It tends to be, or it appears to be, more about the angles. All right? So when you split, if you can get enough separation on your guy like Tinney does here, and just add a little side note, back is straight. Whoops, that's not a very straight line. But chest is up, back is straight, eyes are looking forward. Driving, bang, through that forward. Not rolling his back. All right? But we go forward now. If you can create that separation, get the stick to the inside. It is huge. Here's another one. Bang, creates a separation. Boom. Here, I think his dodging, his dodging is probably a little underrated. I could be wrong on that. Maybe everyone knows he's a great dodger. But this guy creates so much separation that this allows him to bring his stick back to the inside. That's hugely important. Nice little ward off there. I like that trick. That's a great move if you can get away with it. All right, not that it really mattered. He already had the guy dusted. But, bam. Sets his body up, lines his body up appropriately, doesn't shoot from here, but lines his body up, gets those feet to switch, and now his feet are facing this way when he's shooting this direction because you want your body perpendicular to the goal. So when you open up that inside this foot right here, when you open up that foot, you want to turn it out when you shoot. I'm not sure he does it in this case, but that's why you set up that way. Boom. Yeah, see, he doesn't do it in that case. But regardless, Okay, here's another one. This is a tough clip to get on. I think the guy did some editing with that thing. But if you're strong enough with your strong hand, nice roll, always driving. I'm not saying you have to carry your stick like this. I'm not saying you have to carry your stick with the inside hand like that. You can just hold it out and walk the dog, as they say. But when you go to shoot, bring it back in. That's huge. All right? So, a lot like other guys, like Connor Kelly, this guy really doesn't have a whole lot of different moves, I guess you'd say. He's always trying to get that angle. He's always reaching to get his stick to the inside. He's always trying to get the best angle when he's shooting. All right, so when we think about some of these keys, awesome split, right? He's a fast, quick kid. But the reason why he's quick is because he's always in great position. He's sitting down in a chair when he's dodging. He sets up his guy appropriately, and he puts his defenseman in what we call neutral position, in a position where he does not know where he's going to go. All right, the defenseman doesn't know where Tinney's going to go. Very good at putting his body in a position to succeed, and that kind of correlates off of what I just said. When he dodges, he makes sure that when he comes out of that dodge, his body is in a position where he can rotate or shift it so he can get that stick into his left hand. And if he can't get that shot off, he doesn't take the shot. That's why he's shooting at a 35% clip right now, okay? When you're that good of a shooter and you're shooting at the 35, 40 plus range percentage-wise, you're choosing your shots wisely, all right? So I expect him to take a lot more shots this year, and I really encourage you guys to pay attention to him as the year unfolds here coming up in 2018. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope this helps. Like always,